Welcome back to Everyday Cooking with Ann. I'm on a salad kick right now, and so I'm teaching you how to make some of our favorite salads. And we have a Santa Fe black bean and corn salad that's so easy to put together and so delicious to take to potlucks or anywhere you want to have, but for your family, it's really amazing. Goes with the homemade chips that I'm going to teach you during this segment too. Not this segment, but during this video. So we're going to have homemade tortilla chips. We'll have a fresh dressing that we're going to make from scratch, and then I'm going to show you the salad ingredients right now. Okay, so in the salad, I've already had 2 cans of black beans, and I've already rinsed them very well in a colander, along with about 2 cups of corn. I think the recipe only calls for 1 cup of corn, but I just used the rest of the corn that was in the package. You can, if it's summertime, you can use leftover corn on the cob or anything, as long as it's frozen or fresh. Do not use canned corn in this, okay? The other thing that I'm going to show you that's new that most people don't know how to use or put in salads or anything, this is called jicama. I started peeling it a little ahead of time so I could show you what it looks like. If you were to go to the store, it looks like it looks like a big oversized potato. But jicama has, what I love about jicama, you might think it looks like a potato. It's kind of crispy when you chop it up, but I want to be able to, in fact, I'll do it right now and show you real quick kind of how it goes. I just put it in slices like this, and it kind of chops like a potato too. And then I've used this before in vegetable baskets that I have for weddings, but then you just chop it like this into small little matchsticks. This adds a lot of flavor and crunch to like almost any salad, but this salad calls for like a whole jicama, so I'm going to put about a half of one in. So I'm going to get that ready right now. Okay, there we go. So you don't want them this big, but I'm going to cut these, so I cut them in little matchstick sizes. And then I'm just going to cut them here so they'll be in bite-sized pieces to put in the salad. Now this is like a preference thing. If you like a lot of this, if you want to try it, or you can just put just a little bit in like I'm going to do today. The other thing that's going to go in this dressing is red onion, and this is going to be a sliced red onion. And let's see. And you can make these into smaller chunks if you want, but I like to make nice thin slices. This is also a preference of how much you want. I think the recipe calls for 1, but here you go. I'm going to do this and then just cut it in half like this, so they're not too big and not too small, so you get nice flavor of red onion. If onion's not your favorite thing, you can use, if red onion's not your favorite, you could use green onion, but this adds a lot of flavor to the salad. These are actually fresh tomatoes from our garden. I probably don't have quite enough of them. These are some cherry plum tomatoes from the garden, and I have another tomato here that I'm going to cut. And you can usually, what I do is just slice these in half. And then I'm going to actually slice this tomato. You can see how juicy and red it is because it's a great salad to make with fresh tomatoes in the summer. These kind of tomatoes you don't find in the store anymore, you know, garden tomatoes. If you can get them, it's the way to go. The next thing we're going to have is you can put any color of pepper in your salad. I personally like the yellow and red peppers. Green pepper would be good too if you enjoy that. I prefer the yellow and red peppers. So I'm going to put probably a whole one of these, but I'm just going to show you how pretty this is going to make the whole salad when you're finished. I'm just cutting half of this right now. Depends on how large you want to make your salad, of course. And of course, we're going to put some of our red pepper too. Okay, if you have a garden, peppers are something people are usually growing right now, so this is truly a garden salad, summer salad. And the recipe doesn't actually call for an avocado, but I love avocado in this salad. So it's a very kind of Mexican thing to have anyway. So I'm going to add that too in just a little bit, but I'm just going to show you my avocado that I'm going to put in a little bit later. Okay, so those are the salad ingredients. And, oh, this is cilantro. The recipe doesn't call for cilantro, but once again, cilantro is going to be in the salad dressing that I'm going to teach you how to put on here. So I want a little bit of this in my salad too, because I think any kind of salsa or bean and black bean salad should have cilantro in it too. That gives it color. You can see how great this is going to look when it's finished. And it's awfully big too. It'll last you probably the whole week. Well, maybe not. We'll see. Okay, here we're going to show you how to make the dressing. We're going to make the homemade dressing that goes with the Santa Fe and corn salad. It includes vegetable oil. You put some kind of an oil. You can use canola oil. You can use olive oil or some kind of oil, your favorite oil, in the base of the dressing. I'm showing a pomegranate vinegar, but red wine vinegar is called for in the recipe, and I just realized I just ran out of my red wine vinegar, so you might want to use that. I also have lime juice, and I'm just using regular lime juice from the store. I've got a little dash of cayenne. It's going to get a little bit of kick. Some ground cumin and salt and pepper. And I'm going to throw in a little bit of Mexican seasoning. It's a homemade seasoning that I make to put in a lot of my Mexican dishes. We'll post the recipe of how to make your own seasoning. I put this in this baggie and I always run out of it. So it's a great idea to have this made ahead of time. And the recipe for all of this is going to be in the description below and under the little tab that says show more. So you can get the recipes for all of this salad today. Okay, so we're going to put in a half a cup of oil. And we're going to put in a fourth a cup of vinegar. Oh, whoops. Yep, there we go. Fourth of a cup of lime juice. Okay. Now in this recipe too, we are actually putting in some of our cilantro, and I'm going to put that in right now too. 2 or 3 tablespoons. I think about a fourth a cup of that too. I think this is a major portion of the dressing. We're going to put in a teaspoon of ground cumin right here. And just probably a quarter teaspoon, eighth of a teaspoon. So I'm just going to shake a little bit in here, and that's it. Just a little bit. You don't want to overdo it. You're going to have a quarter teaspoon of just a little bit of salt and pepper, and I'm not even measuring that. I'm just putting in a little bit, and test the seasoning when you're finished. Okay, another thing that I would do that I'm adding to this recipe, and I'm just thinking of it right now while I'm video, and I'm going to go over and get a teaspoon of sugar, because almost all recipes that have a lot of kick or a little bit of sugar just tempers it a little bit and gives it a little bit better flavor. Add a teaspoon of sugar as well. Okay. I'm going to take this and mix this up really, really well. Okay, and then I'm just going to take my salad here and I'm going to mix it all together. If you're taking this to a party or for your family or something, what you want to do is you want to add the salad dressing right now, because it needs to meld the flavors of the dressing in with the salad before you serve it, and that takes a while. This needs to now go in the refrigerator. Look how healthy and beautiful this looks. It'll be a huge hit. And in just a few moments, I'm going to show you how to make the chips that you can have with this salad. You can eat it just plain as it is, or as a side dish for any Mexican meal or any buffet. This would be a great buffet item that people would be really impressed with. You're going to test your recipe to see if it needs extra flavor or something like that, which I'm doing. I forgot to add in my seasoning I'm putting in. So I'm just going to add it to the whole salad. It needed a little bit more salt. which I'm adding 2 just from the taste. I thought it needed that. Mix this in again. Okay, I'm taking this to the refrigerator. I'm really amazed at how many people don't know how to make homemade tortilla chips, okay? It's so much better than anything that you could buy in the store, any brand you buy in the store. And it's so easy to do. So I'm going to teach you how to make your own homemade tortilla chips. Every time I've taken this to a party with my homemade salsa I make or the corn and bean salad that I make, it just goes so well with it. And people go, oh, this just ups it a notch like this much to be able to have homemade fresh tortillas. And I use regular white corn tortillas, but you can use yellow corn tortillas. And all you do is just take a stack of tortillas, and what I've done is just divide them into 6. So it makes the tortilla, the little chip size. I've been heating now for a little while my oil. I'm just using regular vegetable oil to fry these in. And so I'm going to start with I put a little stack of these, not all of them in here because I have about probably 2 or 3 cups. But I put them in the oil. Be very careful. And then I take my little, this is a great little tool because it's going to drain the oil off of them when you're ready to lift it out. I've got it on high right now. I'm turning it down just a little bit because I don't want them to cook too fast. You want them light colored, not dark colored, so you just put them over here on here, and immediately I just sprinkle some, kosher salt would be better, but this is just my Himalayan salt. I immediately put that on the tortillas because otherwise it won't stick to it. Okay, so I'm going to do my second batch. That was the first batch, so they are a little bit more discolored a little bit because it's the first batch that goes in. I turn down my heat a little bit, and as long as it's bubbling hot, you're good. If you have a deep fat fryer, you know, that's a good way to go. I don't have one and don't use one because I use the same pan for all of my frying, whether it's wontons or any other fried things that I make. So I keep stirring these just so it gets evenly covered in the oil. And I'm going to take them out right now while they're still really nice and light because they will be very nice and crispy. Okay, and I immediately put salt on them. Now I'm going to go to my next batch. We're now finished with our Santa Fe black bean and corn salad. We put it in a nice little attractive serving bowl, ready to serve. And these are the fried chips that we made, our homemade chips that are salted. Oh, they are so good. And this is so delicious. You just take a little bit of a chip, kind of like a chip and salad, and just serve it. So delicious. You know, this salad probably took 20 to 25 minutes to make. The chips, maybe 10. So in a half an hour, you've got a great hors d'oeuvre or salad for dinner or just a side dish.